Now I'm going to hang out for a bit and check people's questions. It is 9:45. So let's just assume this is going to go until about 10 o'clock. So 2 hour show. Wow. Uh, so at this point, I am opening the floor to questions. Let's see. And Deanna, for a future topic, how effective is a solar battery charger in the northern United States? And if you think it's a worthy expense, can you recommend a brand and model? I've tried several brands of portable solar panels, and none of them were able to give a reliable charge, even to 4 AAs in less than 6 hours. Okay, great question, Deanna. Do I? No, that's not within reach. So, like those little folding panels, yeah. If you're up in the northern states where you're getting 6 hours of light, very indirect cloud, not very useful at all. For that, you really need the big panels with what are called a solar charge controller, which is basically a transformer and some electronics that takes the little bit of light that the panels are making, and through the magic of science, can change it to make it. I'm doing a quick, dirty model of it. Basically, take the little bit of power that the panels are generating, and use them to increase or recharge even big batteries. That being said, these are for the big panels, like the 30 to 50 watt, 100 watt, not the little folding panels. Yeah, in that case, really like a hand generator or something like that. Sent info for local NOLA local radio stations. Yeah, so there are 6 frequencies that the NOAA broadcasts this weather information on. There are frequencies that you can't get in the normal AM/FM. You need the special frequency, the radio with it. But like I said, this one, it has 4 of the 6. Usually 1, sometimes 2 of those. Focus. It's focusing on my hands. 1 or 2 of those stations you will be picked up at your particular household. And so you just have to scan through the radio until you find it. Nowadays, they have that extra technology where you can tell it to scan this particular frequency. And in the case of a tornado or something, they put out a special signal that your radio will pick up because it's in that area of that frequency. The range of that frequency will reach and alert you that there's a tornado or something like that bearing down. Matt, yes. So the very first thing I talked about, Matt Brast, was water purification, water storage, and water purification. So I did talk about like the Sawyer Life Straw type thing and different types of water purification type stuff to kill at least the bacteria, and then just reminded none of these take out chemical contaminations. Deanna, okay, great question. Do you recommend whistles in a 72-hour kit? Now, I always carry a whistle when I'm out in the woods, or really, I don't have my key. I always have a whistle on me. I have a little whistle on my keychain. Whistles are great because you can blow a whistle and make a lot of noise a lot longer than you can yell or scream or otherwise draw attention. So a whistle is one of the best ways of getting people's attention. I would say, Deanna, especially in the case of a hurricane or a really severe thunderstorm is coming where there could be tornadoes, it's really good if every member of the family has a tornado with them until the storm passes. Just God forbid if something hits your house and your house collapses, hopefully the person can somehow get the whistle up to their whips and blow on it, because then that Johnny and Susie are okay and where they are. I know Ricardo, he was up at the Cato Mounds when the tornado hit a year and a half ago, and when the building collapsed on people, and whistles would have been useful there. So I had not thought of it, Deanna, until you mentioned it, but yeah, whistles would be an excellent thing to have in your 72-hour kit. Thank you. Great idea. All right, what's Kevin Marshall saying? We were in 3 hurricanes back in Florida in the 90s. A small Honda generator turned on for 30 to 45 minutes a day. Yeah. So yeah, the Honda generators are really good. They're very fuel efficient. If you can afford it, they're great. But keep in mind, if you are storing a generator, you need the gas. And the first time you use a generator, you need to run it every 30 days just to keep it all clean out of gunk. So, in tonight's episode, at least, that would be beyond the sort of gear that I'm talking about. But if you can afford it, I have a generator. I actually, instead of going with a gas generator, I went with a propane powered generator that uses the 5 gallon or the five, I don't know if they're 5 gallon, they're more than 5 pounds, barbecue grill propane and run off that. The reason I went with propane rather than gas is it's easier to store the propane. It doesn't go bad. I'm grilling and then constantly replacing the tank. And then I got some bigger tanks to go with it. But then the generator itself, you don't have as high of concern with the carburetor getting gummed up and the rubber getting worn out and things like that being damaged by the gas, especially nowadays with as much ethanol that's in gas. It's really hard on generators and small engines, so you almost need to know how to rebuild the engine if you go with a gas engine. So something to keep in mind there. Paper maps are really good. And in fact, actually, yeah, I kind of listed that in the emergency binder, having maps to, how to get places. Oh, Kevin, yes, you just brought up an excellent thing that I completely forgot. Thank you, Kevin Marshall. Insect repellent. Especially if something happens during the summer and you are outside either, cleaning up debris or outside cooking, you're going to want mosquito repellent because they're going to be all over and really thick and just loving you to death. So yes, thank you, Kevin, for reminding me on that, and everyone else, that along with all this other stuff, you probably want a couple of cans of some sort of insect repellent to keep you from getting covered in bites while you're out there working in the grid down situation, until the things can get on there. And also, yeah, having the windows open for ventilation and so forth. Tip on that: you want the first floor windows open a crack and the upstairs windows open really wide, and you will get a draft that goes up through your house, and that helps really well. Okay. Yeah, Chad, sunscreen, that's another one. I guess in the case of sunscreen, I just assumed everyone in Texas has sunscreen. Not everyone seems to have bug spray, though. But yeah, sunscreen's another thing. If you are going to be working outside, excellent. Yeah, you want the sunscreen because you don't want to get sunburned. If you do, you use the burn gel stuff, but then you don't have the burn gel when you really need it. So preventive type medicine or preventive measures. I usually go for like long sleeve shirts and big brimmed hats. I use clothing to protect myself from the sun because the clothing also slows down the evaporation some. You feel hot, but overall you're less likely to overheat if you have your skin protected from the sun than if you're just in shorts and wearing sunscreen. Yeah, use common sense. Yeah, if that were the case, a lot of bad things wouldn't happen. But unfortunately, even if you are using common sense, there's a good chance that your neighbor or frankly one of your kids is going to do something bad, and it's up to you to take care of them. So keep that in mind. Oh yeah, good, Joe. The number of generators now have a conversion kit that allows you to use a gas-powered generator using the propane rather than gasoline. Yamaha makes one. The Harbor Freight, the Northern Tool makes one. I think Honda makes one. So those are really good things. Whoops, I saw a frowny face. I don't know why someone's frowning right now. Okay, yeah. Like I said, I'm just trying to take care of the tribe. We're in a crazy world. Like I said, growing up, so both my parents were children of the Great Depression, so I heard all sorts of, terrible stories of things going on then. And then my dad was an insurance salesman for 30 years. And so every day there was some new story of someone in a car crash or a house burning down or a boating accident or they drowned. So I might be a little cautious in the world, or at least think that, it's not as safe as a lot of people seem to think it is. And so it's good just to have a few things on hand just to increase the safety, increase the comfort, increase your sense of confidence and take care of people. Okay, so this night, okay, quick question. 72-hour kit for the car. That becomes complicated. I do have an emergency kit with food and water, but it's not 72. It's more like a day, or really like a 24-hour kit. If I were trapped in my car or at work or something like that, I can do it easily for 24 hours, not a problem. After that, it gets a little problematic just because of the water issue. Okay, people, I am going to shut this down. It is 10 o'clock. Yeah, so get home bag and all that sort of thing. That will be another show. Like I said, I want to get Professor Brandon Laurie back with me and do some of those because it's great to work with him on that. But otherwise, hopefully, like I said, I gave you something that will help you all. So thank you, Tribe, for hanging out with me, and hopefully, you will never ever need any of this. But we all know the world is thin, and between normal world and bad world, very, very thin. Okay, I'm stopping now. Good night, everyone.